Welcome to your first core anchor lesson, the back anchor. Together with the 3 core anchors, this is going to provide you with a framework for healthy core engagement, which is the major focus of core balance training. And it's the deep core specifically that we're focused on, the muscles that are deep inside your abdomen that support your spine. This type of healthy core engagement is not something that I can teach you through words or talking or even naming muscles. Accessing your deep core is only something that you can learn through experience and by developing a familiarity with what this engagement feels like. Over the course of the next week, we're going to zoom in on your core engagement. First adding simple movements, then progressing to the all too common bridge exercise, which will become a powerful relief tool for you when done in this way. I'm excited for you to get started.
Welcome to the first foundational component of the core balance training program, the back anchor zone. This is the development of awareness of a major support zone of your core that you first started developing when you were an infant and a baby. It's a major connection with the floor as you're learning how to move your arms and legs and developing the strength and stability in your core. This is something that we tend to lose connection with over time in life. We're going to get right into how to do this exercise, and I will weave in more about the what and the why of this as we go. So you're going to start out just by laying on the floor with your knees bent and your feet flat and just relax into the position. We're not going to be doing much in this exercise. We're going to be just resting here, feeling your connections with the floor. Most likely your major connections or the most pressure you're going to feel with the ground is going to be your pelvis and your upper back. And so these are what I'm going to call your support points or support zones. And we're going to shift these support zones from the pelvis and the upper back to right in the middle, which is your back anchor zone. It's actually the bottom of your rib cage in the back. So I want you to pay attention to your rib cage. As you can see, my rib cage is flared a little bit. This is what I like to call a rib hump. This is likely how many of you are positioned, just resting on the floor. The predictable pattern is that the rib cage tends to flare forward. I can actually use my hands to feel the rib cage. This is not a natural position that you would see a baby or an infant in. They have a strong connection to the floor with that back anchor zone, which is the bottom of the rib cage in the back. So if your ribs are flaring in the front, which is the predictable pattern that happens, they're lifted up in the front because of a poor connection here, then they're also lifted up in the back because the entire rib cage moves together as one unit. So what the exercise is going to be is to bring the rib cage down and connect the bottom of the rib cage in the back with the floor. This is your back anchor zone. So you're going to use your abdominal muscles and any muscles you can in your core to bring that rib cage down and connect it with the floor so that the bottom of your rib cage in the back is touching the floor and pressing into the floor. So it becomes one of your support zones. And once you do this, your job is just to breathe and feel that connection. This is a connection that we want to build and develop. Sometimes when we bring the ribcage down, it causes our chin to jut out. So we just want to be aware of that. That's not the focus of this exercise, but I'm just showing the connection. The neck and the lower spine are directly connected, and so they move together. And so the goal would be to keep the head and neck in a lengthened position with the chin down and bring the ribcage down like I've just done. So if you need a pillow to start with all of this, that's totally fine. The focus is here in the back anchor zone. We just want to be aware of our head and neck position, and we'll work towards not needing a pillow. So ribcage down, connecting with the floor. If you're having trouble with that, you can think about trying to kind of peel your pelvis off the floor, almost lift the pelvis up, but we're not using our legs in this exercise. We're not using our glutes. We're not pelvic tilting. We're not squeezing our butt. This is all abdominal activity. We're trying to train our core to make this connection and increase this connection. See if you can bring the ribcage down even more, and what will happen is you will decrease the connection of your pelvis and your upper back. So this becomes kind of like a fulcrum where we're pressing it into the floor and it just lightly unweights the pelvis, less pressure on the upper back and the pelvis. Not that they're lifting up, there's just less force going into them. Breathe into that connection. You're never going to stop breathing. During this connection, during this activity, we need to learn how to breathe while keeping some activity in our core. You can see the expansion of my core as I inhale. We want to send the breath low into the pelvis, into the lower back. See if you can send your breath into the back anchor zone and increase the connection on the inhale. So this is the exercise, and it's an integral component of the entire program, and everything is built on top of it. So I don't want you to discount the value of this because there's not a high level of intensity or movement in the exercise. The value cannot be overstated of the amount of impact that this can have on your life and the awareness of your body. It can be truly pivotal. So meditate on it, feel the connection, breathe into it. You can spend at least 5 minutes in this position. Consider it your 5-minute meditation for the day. And the more time you spend on this and in this, the better, because you're building the foundation for so much to be built on top of this first.